Hey friends, what is up? It is Dr. Burgundy Collins, and on this channel, I want to start doing a weekly rundown of my perspective on the most trending topics in politics and pop culture because I talk about that stuff a lot, but now I want to talk about it a little bit more on this channel. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. Hi friends, what is up? So before I get into the video, let us first address the hair. So I live in Virginia and it's getting quite humid. So when I normally do my hair, it's actually natural, which means it's naturally curly. But I don't necessarily wear it curly. So what I do is I go to my hairdresser so she can wash it and blow it out. But last night I decided to pin curl it because it's humid and I don't want to fight or have the struggle of having my hair straight or putting it up in a bun like I always do. So I pin curled it and now I have these tight Annie curls. It looks crazy in this video. It probably looks crazy in real life too, but I'm just working today, so whatever. But my hair is crazy, so let's go ahead and get that out there. But then let's talk about people who don't know me and don't care about me, but I'm have an opinion about them and what they're doing anyway. Okay, first, the ICE protests that are now going on all over the country. They started off in LA, these crazy riots. For some reason, people think it's acceptable to burn down properties and to burn down and loot businesses because they are upset. Now, when I see these protests, you know what I'm think of? And when I see the governor of California, Governor Newsom, and I'm not president, Mayor Karen Bass, what I think of when I see these people, these leaders who are defending people looting and burning down cars and buildings and blocking highways, when I see them defend them, when I see these people act buck wild crazy and wave their Mexican flag, they burn the American flag, I think of toddlers when you tell them, or little kids, you tell them no, they can't do something or they can't have something, and then they go buck wild crazy and they start screaming and throwing temper tantrums and trying to fuck things up in the house and act like fools. That's what I see. I see a bunch of kids running around having a temper tantrum, and I see the parent who doesn't know how to tell their kids no justify their behavior. That's what I see. I see a bunch of foolishness. And in my opinion, if you don't like the rules here in America, if you don't like including the immigration laws, then you can simply leave. And this includes Americans. If you think it's acceptable to loot innocent businesses and steal a bunch of Adidas and Apple phones and weed and jewelry, those are the places that are primarily being looted in California, then you need to leave too. Because I mean, I personally want to live in a society that is safe. I want to live in a society where people have some common sense, and I am not feeling violent protests because now they're not protests, they're riots. So let's just be real about it. Okay. You look stupid. All right. Next, Simone Biles, who also looks stupid. Simone Biles versus Riley Gaines. Simone Biles, for some reason, decided to hop out there on Twitterland and insult Riley Gaines because she doesn't like the fact that Riley Gaines is advocating for um, males to not be allowed to compete against girls and women in sport. Now, for most people, about 80% of the country, this is a no-brainer. But I think people are kind of missing the nuance. When you have transgender people who are boys who now identify as girls, they don't see themselves as boys. They don't identify themselves as being males. So in their head, they are women, and in their minds, and in the minds of the people who are supporting this ludicrous behavior, they should be able to compete with girls. But I know we hear the phrase mind over matter, but in this situation, mind is not over matter. Physically, you're still a boy, and in my opinion, I think Riley is completely right for using her platform to advocate for the fairness in women's sports. Because personally, I am, well, used to be an athlete. I was an all-state track runner, and as good as I was, I placed second in state. That was the best I had ever done. I placed second in state in a quarter. I ran a 58. At the time, I thought that was all that in a bag of chips. But even though I thought that was a good time, there's no way that I could ever be the boy. And that's just a fact. Okay. So Simone Biles decided to hop out there on Twitterland and insult Riley Gaines, and she has been feeling the wrath. I would hate to be her right now. So I have a quote for her, something very special from her, from somebody who also sucks nowadays, Mr. Kanye West. And the quote goes something like this: "Don't ever fix your lips like collagen and say something where you're going to end up apologizing." Okay, so let's be careful we stay out there because if you are on the wrong side, more than likely you will have to humble yourself and apologize, and you're gonna look stupid. So Simone Biles is looking quite stupid now. And the same thing goes for Mr. Elon. Elon and Trump had a romance that was just beautiful. I loved it. But Elon jumped out there on Twitterland and said some crazy stuff, accusing Trump of being on the Epstein list, all because he didn't agree with Trump backing the big, beautiful bill. And their romance sort of went down the drain. But now Elon Musk is seeing the error of his ways, and he's now back trying to kiss the ring of the king. And he's also looking quite stupid. So again, that quote also applies for Mr. Elon. Don't ever fix your lips like collagen and say something, but you're going to end up apologizing because he's now apologizing on Twitter and has deleted all of his tweets. Yeah, we got to learn how to control our emotions sometimes, but it's all good. I can dig it. All right, lastly, Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan put out that despicable and a very embarrassing video of her twerking while she was pregnant with Lily. Anybody with eyes, I think even Stevie Wonder could see that that baby bump was actually a moon bump, and it might have actually been just a bunch of pillows or pillow stuffed up underneath her dress because that girl was not pregnant in that video. And I see nothing wrong with having a surrogate. I mean, if you got the money, why stretch out your own body and give birth to a child where you can pay somebody else to do it? I am all for that. But I think it's super lame when you want to pretend that you're pregnant and pretend that you are bringing forth life. You can relate to women who have actually been brave enough to actually sacrifice their bodies and minds to bring forth another person in this world. I think that makes you a crummy individual, and I think it's actually just quite lame. If you have a surrogate, hey, have your surrogate. Nobody's judging. I actually think it's a flex. But to sit here pretend that we don't have eyes and we can't see that that baby bump is actually just some fabric or whatever you constructed under your dress, and then have the audacity to twerk. So you're now trying to flex and show off that you can have this big old baby bump and still like drop it like it's hot. Girl, bye. Okay. So I'll be so happy when these royal runaways are actually stripped of their titles and she can just go off into the existence because actually I'm quite tired of hearing about her and seeing about her. So this is the weekly rundown, the first of such on this channel. I hope that it was interesting. If you have any opinions about those things that I talked about just now, please leave your comments down below. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you later on the week in another video. Take care and peace.